Hi, everyone. So, I will tell you a little bit more about myself in this video. For my personal story journey, where it started with me being interested in the mystical, the esoteric, magical, all of that, I would say is when I was a little girl, I was always interested in it. Growing up in the 80s, I liked Rainbow Bride and the Care Bears, and I saw movies that I thought were magical. This is an obscure movie. I don't know if anyone remembers this. If you watched the Disney Channel back then, back in the day, in the 80s, you would remember a movie called The Boy Who Could Fly, about a teenage boy who could fly, and he moves to this town. He is mute. Best I can remember it. Y'all bear with me here. And he meets a teenage girl named Millie. They go to school together. She likes him. They form a relationship, and he can fly, and he shows her that he can fly, and she has this magical experience with him, flying with him through the clouds. I believe they sat on a cloud and talked to each other or whatever, and then I don't know if it was a dream sequence with it too, and she fell and he caught her, and she ended up in the hospital, but she ended up being okay, and she was trying to make sense of what had happened to her. But she finds out that, if I remember correctly, y'all, it's been so long since I've seen that, but she remembers that she knows that it is true that he can fly. I used to like all the fairy tale movies. I used to play games where I was a princess and had magical powers and all of that, and I used to love that. And I collected Lisa Frank stickers. I don't know if anyone remembers that either, but Lisa Frank was a maker of brand of stickers that you could put, and stickers you could put on backpacks or wherever, and a lot of school materials that had a lot of different rainbow colors, and there were unicorns on the stickers, Pegasus, just all kind, and I can't even remember a lot of them. I remember the unicorn stickers in my mind. I like unicorns, y'all, and the Pegasus ones, but just really kind of fanciful stickers and like that, rainbows, just different stickers such as that. But anyway, but you get the picture. I was into all of that growing up, and some of the movies I watched too really piqued my interest, such as that movie The Boy Who Could Fly. I remember Xanadu with Olivia Newton-John. I thought that was really cool. I was really little when I watched that, but yeah, and how Olivia Newton-John was in another dimension, and she comes and I'm trying to remember things from that movie. She comes and appears to be a human being, comes out of a picture, mind you, from the other dimension, and if I remember correctly, and she is a human being living a human life, but she goes back and forth between the other dimension she's in, and ends up having a relationship with a regular human man here. So or on Earth in human form. So, and yeah, so just magical movies like that. And flash forward, I put it all to the side. I led what you could say a regular teenagehood, early adulthood. I was just mostly interested in having fun and doing what I wanted to do, going to school, doing the regular 3D things, because that's what I was taught was the right things to do, and establish a career. So I did that, and I got married and all, and none of it ended up working out. I think the breaking point for me, the dark night of the soul period, was the divorce with my husband and losing my job at the time, and never really having lived on my own. So that was a new experience for me. So I was starting from scratch, and I just got interested in the fact that there was more to life than just the everyday, I don't want to say humdrum stuff. I mean, to each his or her own, it's all in what you like to do and what you want to do. But I knew there was more than just getting up, going to a job, coming home, eating dinner, doing chores, getting up and doing the same thing again, and possibly dating around and then getting married again and blase, blase, blase. I knew there was more to life than that. I knew that, and I know that we are souls in a body, and I was interested in exploring more about this. So I started, and I was interested in God, especially with the heartbreak with the marriage ending and all. And I just thought, this has all been so much with just everything happening at once. So I wanted to get some comfort and some inspiration. So I just started reading other things along the spiritual, in the spiritual arena. I read the Conversations with God books by Neale Donald Walsch. Really liked them. And then from there, my interests just grew. I became interested in other religions, finding out more about them. Found a particular interest in Hinduism and the Hindu deities and finding out more about them. And it just blossomed from there. I did that for a while. Did a lot of reading and learning about a few different religions, ways of doing things, and about God, and just forming my own perceptions, I guess you could say, around all of that. And then put it aside again for a little while, with just doing the regular, you could say regular stuff again. I'll just say that regular stuff again, such as work and all of that. And then in 2016 or so, I was turned on to energy healing. I never knew anything about that, really. Didn't know anything about Reiki, and found out about that, explored that, and took classes online for that, became a Reiki practitioner, then Reiki master. And just thought it was really neat, thought it was really cool. And then I started exploring everything again with reading different material, and then I just got really hungry. It first started with finding about different classes, just different ways to work with LOA, Law of Attraction, all of that. And it just seemed as if I was running into all these, pay $5 and you can take this class and learn how to do LOA this way. And I just kind of ran into all this kind of gimmicky stuff, it felt like. Looking back on it now, it didn't feel like that at the time. And I just ate it all up. I ate up reading about LOA, but it just always seemed like there was something attached to whatever I was reading about at the time, like some class or something, or or whatever. And I did learn some things. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, and the money I did spend, it wasn't for nothing. But I still felt like there was something missing. And it only gave me, I felt like at the time, a little bit. It just gave me just a few morsels to eat. And that was really it. And then moving forward to 2018, something really cool occurred for me. I got acquainted with a Reiki master here in my hometown. A wonderful man, just extremely wonderful, and went to what was called the Star Healing Circle here. And for where I am, that was totally different, totally unique. I live in eastern North Carolina, where you just don't hear about a lot of sorry y'all. You don't hear about a lot of metaphysical events, or just things like that just don't really happen here. People aren't as open to it. I'm going to say yet here. Hopefully sometime soon they will be, at least in the near future. But yeah, this is the Bible Belt, and you have more church-going people, or people that just aren't as open to the metaphysical and mystical side of things. We do have yoga here, which is great, and we do have Reiki here, which is great, and yoga has really caught on more so. Hopefully Reiki will catch on a bit more. But getting back to my story, I'm sorry, I digress. But yeah, so I went to this circle, and there was a psychic there. Intuitive, whatever you would like to say. But she is called a psychic, according to information I've read about her, and I believe what she has said about herself. That may not be right, but I know that that's how it was written, is that she's a psychic. And she does she does dowsing. It wasn't pendulum dowsing, but dowsing, and she can actually raise your vibration with the dowsing. She could tell you where you are at currently and raise your vibration with it, and that's what she did with me. And she's had at least 3 near-death experiences, and she can tell you who's around you. So she told me that I have Krishna with me. Now, I will say, I'll digress a little bit again, just to give you this bit of information, because it is relative. I had always been interested ever since the marriage ended and the whole Dark Night of the Soul experience, and I started studying Hindu deities and Krishna. I just was drawn to him, very much drawn to him. Interested in him. And she told me, getting back to my story, that he is around me, that he was sitting there next to me. She asked who was the male, that he is a friend of yours. And I just remember thinking that was just so cool, so awesome. So there was that experience, and then I had Reiki at the same event, and that was confirmed as well, and that was wonderful as well. And it was just a really great experience. It was a really great day. I will never forget it. And then after that point, I just really got hungry. I started consuming, you could say, podcasts and YouTube videos of people that resonated with me there at the time. And it's still around, I think, but there was the Higher Self channel, and the Higher Self channel features different YouTubers and their channels and their videos, and I would watch all these different videos on Higher Self, and I just like I said, I just consumed it. I certainly did. And with podcasts too that I was interested in, and I learned so much from doing this. This was in 2018, especially in 2019, that I really took in knowledge, and I really got to reading and stuff about these different topics. And I started venturing out. I hadn't done this before. I don't know, something about it. I just really wasn't open to it before. And I don't know if it was the Reiki that opened me up to this more. Just me shifting, I guess, just in general from everything, from the Reiki, from taking in all these videos, just growing. I finally started attending classes online, which I hadn't done before. I would take, like before in 2015-16, these little mini classes where it was just self-paced and you would just go online and read and that kind of thing. But now it was more interactive at this point. I would take online classes. I actually got readings from people. Yeah, it just really expanded my horizons. I really opened up big time to the knowledge and really getting serious about it in 2019 and beyond. And the readings I had were just great, starting with the reading at the Star Healing Circle that I was part of. And I learned that I have lived on all these different planets, and so many more of us have too, from what my research has been and my learning has been in reading and all, that the majority of us have. We've lived on all these different planets. We've done all these different things. And we are magical, magnificent beings. We really are. But I learned that about myself, and yeah, it was just, I started off as an angelic. I was told, I believe that, and then lived on all these different planets, and just have abilities that I haven't tapped into yet too, and I am waiting and working on that happening. I'll get into more of that later. I will say I learned that I have been, and the words aren't coming to me right now, you guys. Doesn't that figure? Well, I have worked magic, I'll say that, in the past, so in other lives. And I'm trying to remember what I was going to tell you, and my mind just went blank. I am so sorry trying to record this. A priestess, yes. Oh, my word. Okay. Thanks, y'all, for bearing with me. But yes, I was a priestess before in the Temple of Isis, and I'm really interested in that and learning more about that. And I've definitely gotten downloads about that as well. So I will be sharing more about that in the future. But yeah, it's just been so interesting along the way, finding out about all this stuff. And I have finally now, really starting last year, really feeling like I could trust myself. It really took a while to really feel like I could trust the downloads I was getting, being tapped into my higher guidance and to my spirit team, which we all have. For anyone who's new to this, that's listening, just newly awakening and whatnot to spirituality and mysticism and the metaphysical. We all have teams around us. We all have spirit teams of spirit guides, angels. They're all around us, and we can call on them at any time for help. I would call on your highest light team is what I say. That's usually because we have different guides, and they may not be as high vibrational as others. So just in my opinion, it's good to put the intention out there that your highest light team, highest beings of love and light, and your angels assist you. You can do that definitely anytime you want to, and however you want to say it, in your mind and or out loud. But yeah, it took me a while getting back to what I was saying to trust that, to be able to trust the information I was getting. And I finally got to a point where I did. And it just took a lot of, well, not only taking classes and getting readings and getting confirmation through those readings and different people telling me the same things, but also too, clearing out anything that does not serve me, shadow work, that kind of thing, working on my own limiting beliefs and purging those. And there's different ways to do that. I can get into that too later. But yeah, it just took me a while. And but the biggest thing was, I will say this, y'all, the biggest thing was just learning that I could trust myself. It doesn't serve me to question all the time, that I could truly trust myself. So that's what really helped me. Like I said, after I did the other things, but yeah, definitely. And so now I'm at this point, and I do want to share with you all more details about the information I got from the readings, what I'm currently working on, especially when it comes to working on the Path of the Priestess and different activities with that and techniques and things that I'm doing to work on that when I feel like the time is right and it resonates with me, and take you on my journey, and also just more about myself too, as far as my former lives and everything, which that'll be part of talking to you about the readings and stuff I've had too, and just my insights on metaphysics and the mystical and magical and all of that. So anyway, that was just a little bit about me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to mention. It always seems like there's so much with all of this. I tell you, it's just awesome. But I think that's it. And, I continue to learn and I continue to grow. So, but I look forward to sharing with you all my insights and what I've learned along the way, and just what is going on with me. Thank you, and thank you for bearing with me, kind of going off on different things on this video. So thank you so much, and I plan to talk with you soon. Much love. Bye for now.